So from May 19th to the 21st, I was competing in the first ever North Carolina State Tournament. And it was an awesome event, well worth the trip. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. I basically left right after work, got in Thursday night, and pretty much just went to bed because we had the doubles competition the next day. I partnered up with Chicago player Allison DeMichael.
The Chicago Ticklers.
And we did pretty well. We placed 11th out of 38 teams. Congrats to Jacob Weissman and Avery Yabernetsky for winning the doubles tournament with the team name of ambidextrous, one left-handed player, one right-handed player.
How are you feeling, especially that you had to start off this morning from a last night game?
I'm feeling great. I love starting off the morning with intense air hockey.
All we needed to do was really just kind of reset, remember how we got into the rhythm in the first place. It seemed like it worked out.
Jacob, Avery, congratulations.
Thank
Have
you
a great
guys so much.
We had some pizza and got ready for the next day, which was the singles tournament. It was definitely an earlier morning than I'm used to for an air hockey tournament, but we got there in time, ready to compete. It was an awesome day of competition all around, and I spent a lot of the day trying to get photos and videos to build up my library of air hockey content, so I'll try to use those where I can. Upsets are some of the most fun things that happen at tournaments, so here's a few of the big ones from day one. The number 11 seed and North Carolina's top player, Joey Liss, defeated the number 6 seed, Brian Acrocco, at match point either way. The winners of the doubles tournament faced off against each other.
My first match, my big match, is going to be against Jacob.
Yeah. Whoa!
Number 14 seed, Avery Yabernetsky, defeated the number 3 seed, Jacob Weissman. 3-0. Very impressive. Weissman is an incredibly talented player, and he made it pretty far in the tournament. The number 21 seed, Seth Garrett, defeated the number 12 seed, Ray Nugent, 3-1, before completing the largest upset of the day numbers-wise, defeating Chris Gibson, who was the number 5 seed, 3-0. And last but not least, the founder of North Carolina Air Hockey, number 24 seed, Kurt Zender, defeated number 9 seed, Austin Fernandez out of Houston. I do want to give a shout out to Chicago player Dan Meyer for winning at match point either way against up-and-coming North Carolina player Ray Nugent, for which he took home the new 7-6 award. For my matches, I started out the day against the North Carolina player Holden Edwards. From what I know, he's a newer player, but he's got pretty solid fundamentals, so it'll be cool to see him improve. My next match was another possible upset. Jamal Reinhardt and I traded games, with me coming out on top 3-2. I hadn't played Jamal since 2019 when I came out for a quick trip to North Carolina, but he absolutely came ready. There was definitely some of his shots that I couldn't keep up with, and he gave me a huge challenge. My next match, and my last of the day, was against Dane Anderson, who I'd heard that he played with some veteran players like Keith Fletcher, so I definitely wasn't expecting an easy match. I ended up winning this match, but he definitely stayed competitive throughout. Thank you for being a resource for some of the newer North Carolina players. Day 2 started out with the match that I was really looking forward to against Connor Cummings. Connor and I have played several times over the last few years, but he's really making an effort to improve a lot more recently. You may remember him from the previous video where I mentioned that he had a huge upset win in a challenge match to take the number 3 world rank. The match started out 1-1, but then I took the next 3 games to win, 4-1. I'm not going to get into specifically what I did to win, but he definitely knows and he'll make adjustments for the next time we play. My next match was against Avery Yabernetsky. He's a tough lefty that tends to skip a couple of tournaments and then comes back out of nowhere and competes at a high level. At the 2019 World Tournament in Houston, I had him up 3-0 and he came back, winning the last 4 games in a row. This time in North Carolina, he started out winning the first 2 games to make it 2-0. After I made some adjustments on both offense and defense, I was able to take the next 4 games to win the set 4-2 and advance to the top 3 in the entire tournament. Unfortunately, my next 2 matches were super tough. I lost to Vince Sauceda 4-0, and then I lost to Jacob Munoz 4-1. Those guys are on another level, but I'm gonna keep at it, keep practicing, and try to improve so I can get myself to the finals one of these days. Munoz and Sauceda ended up facing off in the finals. Sauceda from the winner's bracket side, and Munoz from the loser's bracket side. Sauceda took game 1, and then Munoz took the next 2 to get the lead. Game 4 was a close one, ended up with the score 7-6. That one went to Vince Sauceda to tie it up 2-2, and then he'd go on to win the next 2 to win the entire tournament. I believe that's Vince Saucedo's third state tournament win, so congrats. I have to give a huge shout out to the North Carolina air hockey community. They had an incredible setup and live streamed the entire event on Table 1 with commentary. I'll put a link in the description so you can watch as much as you like with some explanations of what's going on. Overall, I had an incredible weekend, hanging out, competing with friends, old and new. I enjoyed talking with air hockey players who had questions about their own game and had questions about the way that I play. And I'm always happy to answer those kinds of questions. I have no doubts that I'll be there next year, and I can't wait to see how some of these competitors do at the World Tournament in August. More on that soon, but until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
This country deserves more air hockey. We are going to bring it to them. With that being said, thank you to everyone for participating in the first annual North Carolina Air Hockey State Championship. And have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you at Worlds.
Oh God.
It was a very fun time. And,